Hey guys, I've been racking my brain on this week's homework because of Emerson's idea of self-reliance and Kant's belief in the moral law within. And the moral law within, I kind of always follow my conscience every decision I make, and this is how I live my life, and I'm trying so hard to think of a specific, like one that really stands out, and I can't. Um, but I'll give you an incident. Many years ago, I was in Staples. I found a wallet on top of a copy machine, and I was like, oh, do I give it to the manager? And then a voice was screaming inside of me, the man's in the store. This belongs to a man, blah, blah, blah. So I'm holding on to this wallet, and I was like, all right, the desk is right there, but I guess the man's in the store. So this older man comes down the aisle, and this voice is getting louder, literally screaming in my head that that's the man, that's his wallet, give it to him. It's getting louder and louder. And I'm like, okay, okay. So I go up to the man. I'm like, excuse me, is this your wallet? He was so grateful. He was so thankful. It was his wallet. Older man. And, that voice was just screaming that this was this man's wallet. So I started to listen to that voice a lot more whenever I make decisions because it gets louder and it kind of guides me on what to do and how to do something, regardless of what everybody else is doing, what everybody else thinks, how people feel. I do what always feels right to me and my intuition. Um, Another example is I worked at an animal hospital way many years ago, and we got in this like little Maltese who was, terrified and pretty vicious. He wanted to bite everybody and everything. So there's notes on the crate. Don't handle a dog bite, use gloves or yada yada. And coworkers are like, don't go near this dog, blah, 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 it's gonna bite. So it was a slow day, and I went downstairs to the kennel area. And yeah, there was this little dog in there who looked like hell. I don't know how long it was been on the streets for, and growling and snarling, and he wanted to kill me. But inside of me, I felt that, there's obviously a reason for this behavior. It just doesn't want to eat people. So I reached in there with gloves and I took the dog out and I sat on the ground with it for a while. And within about 20 minutes, a coworker had come downstairs to check on me, and they're like, is that Jelly Bean? Like, that's what we called this little thing. And this little dog was on my lap, you know, upside down, and let me pet her. And she was like, how did you do that? And I was like, I spent time with her. I felt fear coming from her and distrust from whatever her situation was. And I went with that. I respected this animal, I earned her trust, and I let her go at her own pace. And, she turned out being a sweetheart. She was terrified. And I was very young at this point, I was at this job like I think I was like 17, 18, 17 to 20 in between there. So eventually this dog came around and we got her adopted, which was ultimately an amazing ending because I love stuff like that. But somebody did mention the vaccine, which was a great example. Um, 2 years prior to that happening, I don't know how I knew, but I knew that there would be such a thing for everyone to get. And I had told people I know, mostly my parents, like, when this happens, don't get it. Something inside of me is just saying, do not get it. Um, my dad, he's always like, I got the flu shot, I got this shot, I got that shot. And I'm like, oh, stop it. Because I'm not one for pumping things inside my body. So, surprisingly, they both listened to me. They didn't get it. I know many people who did. My aunt, one of them, and she has been suffering ever since. I know other people from where I work, they come in and, they discuss it with me and, this symptom happened and this happened and now they can't get rid of this and this is an issue. And that was another, intuitive thing to just not do. But like I said, I really live my life listening to my gut, listening to that feeling. So every decision I make is based on that. So I hope these examples were good enough because I don't have very many specifics. They're all there. It's just my day-to-day life. All right. Thank you guys for listening. I hope everybody has an amazing day.